speak about human history. Human history is very important. By the human history, uh, you will know when every time is come, so what history will conclude in the future. At the same time, when every time and every chance is coming on Earth, because of this human history very important. Like communism, by the communism, people excited. Communism, basic communist teaching, we possess everybody together, like government property, so no private, so we possess all by ourselves. Also we work together, and also we share together. How nice! That is why everybody excited, communism. Long time ago, when I was young, everybody excited by communism. If you are not excited communism, you are not human. Even Christians, they really excited, but they skeptical because they don't believe the God. If the communism in God, then I think everybody excited. So communism excited, but one more thing they added with communism to excite. That is their human history. The capitalist, small members of the capitalist will be controlled by the majority of labor, or by the people. Therefore, capitalism society, the small member, but the majority of the labor of the people. That is why, sooner or later, the capitalism will be perished, turn over, then become they of the majority of the labor of our peoples, come by proved by the dialectics of the history of the materialism. So people excited. That's why same thing, the spiritual dialectics of the human history. Sooner or later, we restore the day of innate original consciousness, heart, and rational mind. Then people will be excited. Therefore, what is the lecture or the human history is a thing to give a really hope and excitement of the human life for the future. That is why this is very important. Same thing, I joined the Unification Church. One reason Unification Church teaching is very logical, also is faithful. So, furthermore, the human history, in near future, God's kingdom come. By a lecture of the human history, I was excited. Same thing, So, without lecture of the human history, you have no big hope for the future. That's why this is really necessary. Then what is the human our human history? Usually people seek, records of human fighting, struggling, racial interest, ideological conflict, classes conflict, restoration of the freedom of the human rights, fighting, things like that. They give many reasons, but actually our human history has two views. One view means the history, records of the criminal and fighting and struggling. This is the human history. So when, where, who did it, and how did it, this record. This is a very negative point. But the positive point for the human history, religion-centered culture, civilization, development history. So why we have two different points, one negative point, one positive point? Because positive point comes from no matter what, God gave an innate, nature, or we have a conscience, love, and rationality. By that we have a God-centered, civilized development of the culture, civilization's history. But the negative field, because we are follow man, by that, unconsciously, we committed to sin and crime and fighting, things like this. So we have both sides. But no matter what, we have both sides. One different thing that, fallen nature, this is come afterwards, by this is accustomed nature, you can overcome sometimes by strong will. Can you understand? But God given nature, God nature, with originate nature, this is the eternal. This is never changed. Therefore, in our spoiled children, really spoiled, but that is the afterlife. That is why you can change spoiled nature. But original nature, this is goes forever. It cannot. Therefore, by the fallen nature, we have committing crime, crime and fighting, struggling, thing. We have a negative. The other side, no matter what, people, how much you are fighting, even struggling, starting war, always you said, I am right, I'm true. We are fighting for the righteousness' sake. We are fighting for the enemy's bad guy, I'm a good guy. Why people say that, That is no matter what, innate nature always seek goodness, emphasize the goodness, to justify the goodness. Why God, Divine Spirit, always works through our innate nature of the conscience and the heart and the love. That is the reason. Therefore, human history, guided by God through our innate original nature. Therefore, whatever we commit to sin and crime, sometime we can restore it or enlighten. Then we can restore the heavenly kingdom. This is the human destiny. So, like a bird, you can fly freely, here, there, but sooner or later you have to come down to the branch because you can escape from the gravity or something like this. We, spoiled, we do this and that. That, no matter what, sooner or later you have to go back to the innate original nature. This is the human history. That's why God providence, God actually work. When we see this externally, God doesn't help anything. But God, Spirit, always working through with our conscience, innate original mind or the instinct. So instinctively, people cannot escape from goodness. That's why no matter what, they try to excuse their right, they are true, they are the God's side, Even today, all religion, always I'm God's side, I'm God's side, I'm God's side, Also, I'm right, I'm the enemy is wrong. Why they say that, Human spirit, always guided by God. Therefore, the innate spirit always point to the goodness. Therefore, when we see the human, history, 6,000 years of the human history, 6,000 years, they maybe 200 they perish, then 100 they perish, to 300 they perish. Then they never continued 6,000 years. But like a religion, who speak the God and they speak the truth. This is Hinduism, 4,000 years never they perish. Or Judaism, Hinduism, this 4,000 years never, still today continued. I never perish. Also Buddhism 2,500 years never perished. So Christianity 2,000 never perished. Muslim 1,000. Why? As far as they speak about God and the truth, they never perished. Why? Our innate spirit always follow for the God and truth. That is the reason. But you are not speaking about truth. You are not speaking about God. You are only, you live secularly, then you can, how much you have a strong power to control the government, no matter advantage you have, you cannot continue it. Therefore, if you are really you're evil, you're collected, then not only you perish yourself, also heaven they perish you. Like Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah, judgment day is coming, Why, there is no everlasting for the evil power. But the good power, the good teaching, seems to be weak, seems to be not strong, but this is constantly growing and never perished. Even today they continue sitting main religious power without any perishing. By God sent the truth over the world forever. So usually human history is divided three human history. One historian said that human history is a greater salvation history. That is why Adam and Eve fall the Garden of Eden. Then after 6,000 years, new heaven and new earth come back. So religionists, theologian, their view of the history is the circle of the history which God guided salvation history. Then the other history, like a Greek age, yes, God created. So, but also people has a free will. Then half God guided at the same time, half human free will. They said that history of the half providence of the defeated the history like this. Then the other or atheist, that 100% human free will, the free history. We have a free view. But anyway, human history is a free development under God's dispensation. No change of the goodwill after fall of man. So, no matter what the people, they want to live good. No matter what the fighting thing, I'm justice, I'm a right side, I'm right, enemy is wrong. Always they say that, no matter what the pointing, human, innate spirit, always toward the goodness. That's why God we are under the God dispensation to restoration of the goodness or the good kingdom. That is real. So purpose and spirit of the human history, re-establishment, history of the new heaven and the new earth by the restoration of the divinity, love and truth, centering God from crime and struggling after fall of man. This is the human history.